On a cool autumn evening, the city was shrouded in a blanket of fog, creating an eerie atmosphere. My mom, always a stickler for getting things done, realized we were out of milk and bread. Despite the late hour, she decided to make a quick trip to the store. "I'll be back soon," she promised, grabbing her coat and keys. I watched her leave, her figure disappearing into the mist. An hour passed, then two. I began to grow anxious. It was unusual for Mom to be gone this long. I tried to distract myself with homework and television, but a gnawing worry kept pulling me back to the clock. The hands seemed to move slower with each passing minute. Finally, unable to take the suspense any longer, I picked up my phone and dialed her number. It rang and rang, but there was no answer. I tried again, and then again, with the same result. Panic started to set in. Where could she be? I decided to call the store, hoping they might have seen her. The clerk on the other end confirmed she had been there, but she left over an hour ago. This information did nothing to soothe my nerves. It only heightened my worry. Where could she have gone? I paced the living room, my mind racing through possibilities. I imagined every worst-case scenario. An accident, a robbery, something far worse. I tried to shake these thoughts, but they clung to my mind like stubborn cobwebs. Determined to find her, I put on my jacket and stepped out into the foggy night. The cold air bit at my skin, but I barely noticed. My mind was fixed on finding Mom. I retraced her steps to the store, scanning the streets for any sign of her. I called out her name, my voice echoing eerily in the deserted streets. As I approached the store, I noticed a small crowd gathered around a spot just off the main road. My heart pounded in my chest as I hurried over. "What's going on?" I asked a man standing at the edge of the group. "Someone found a purse over there," he said, pointing to a dark alleyway. My blood ran cold. Could it be Mom's? I pushed through the crowd, my eyes frantically searching for any sign of her. At the entrance to the alley, a police officer was taking statements. I described my mother and her purse to him, and he nodded grimly. "It matches the description," he said, "but there's no sign of her." I felt a wave of dizziness wash over me. Where could she be? The officer asked me to come to the station to file a missing persons report. Numbly, I followed him, my mind barely processing the paperwork and questions. Hours turned into a blur. The police assured me they would do everything they could to find her, but their words offered little comfort. I returned home, the house feeling emptier than ever. Sleep was impossible. I sat by the phone, willing it to ring with news of her. The next day, I rallied our neighbors and friends. We formed search parties, combing through the city, handing out flyers and asking anyone if they had seen her. Each passing hour felt like a lifetime, the fear growing with every minute she was missing. Days turned into a week, and hope began to wane. The police had no new leads, and the search parties had found nothing. I felt a deep, gnawing despair settle in my chest. Where could she be? Why hadn't she come back? One evening, as I was preparing to go out again, the phone rang. I lunged for it, my heart in my throat. "Hello? Is this your name?" a woman's voice asked. "Yes, who's this?" I demanded, my voice shaking. "This is Detective Harris. We found your mother." Relief and fear crashed over me in equal measure. "Is she okay?" "She's safe. We're bringing her home now." The next hour felt like an eternity as I waited for her to arrive. When the door finally opened and she stepped inside, I rushed to her, tears streaming down my face. She looked tired and shaken, but unharmed. "What happened?" I asked, holding her tightly. She took a deep breath, her voice trembling. "I was on my way back from the store when a man approached me. He seemed friendly at first, but then he tried to grab my purse. I ran, but he caught up to me in the alley. I managed to hit him with my purse and escape, but I was so scared. I hid in an old building nearby, too afraid to come out until I was sure he was gone." Tears of relief and fear mingled on my cheeks. Why didn't you answer your phone?" "It must have fallen out of my pocket during the struggle," she said, holding me close. "I'm so sorry I worried you." "It's okay," I whispered, overwhelmed with gratitude that she was home safe. In the days that followed, life slowly returned to normal. The police caught the man responsible, and Mom began to heal from the ordeal. The experience brought us closer, a reminder of how precious our time together was. As the weeks passed, the memory of that terrifying night began to fade, replaced by the comfort of our routine. We took extra precautions, making sure we never went out alone late at night. The bond between us grew stronger, forged in the fire of that frightening experience. The ordeal had a lasting impact on both of us. I realized how fragile life could be and how quickly everything could change. I became more protective of my loved ones, always making sure to let them know how much they meant to me. Mom, too, learned from the experience. She became more cautious, always aware of her surroundings. But she also became more resilient, determined not to let fear dictate her life. In the end, the experience brought us closer together. It was a harsh reminder of the dangers of the world, but it also reinforced the strength of our bond. We were grateful for each other, and we cherished every moment we had together. Life went on, but we never forgot that night. It became a part of our story, a testament to our resilience and love. And every time we looked at each other, we remembered how lucky we were to have each other. The foggy night, the frantic search, the fear and relief, it all became a part of our shared history. And through it all, we emerged stronger, closer, and more grateful for the love we shared. In the end, the experience was a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always hope. And that love, above all else, is the greatest strength we have.